NBA fans, what's going on? Welcome into NBA Now from Chat Sports. I'm your host, Jimmy Crowther, and today we're starting off with news about Avery Bradley and the Los Angeles Lakers. Avery Bradley sitting out for the remainder of the 2020 season when the season returns in Orlando, Florida. Now, this year, he's really been great for the Lakers. He's been one of their most consistent role players. He's been starting at the point guard position, defending the other guards, and shooting the three ball really well for the Lakers. This year, he's averaged 8.6 points per game, 2 boards, and 1 assist, shooting a little better than 36% from 3. Now, the reason he said that he's sitting out is because of his family. And this was the exact quote that he gave to ESPN. He said, "As committed to my Lakers teammates and the organization as I am, I ultimately play basketball for my family. And so at a time like this, I can't imagine making any decision that might put my family's health and well-being at even the slightest risk." So good for Avery Bradley. His kids, I know one of his kids has had health issues in the past, so not putting that at risk is so important. So good for AB. If you're mad at him for sitting out, screw you. This is a good reason to sit out. So now the starting five is definitely going to look a little bit different with Avery Bradley out of the starting five. LeBron James steps in as the starting point guard right away. I think nothing really changes there. He holds onto the ball. He makes the plays. He is the primary playmaker for the Lakers, as he always has been. Danny Green will stay in the backcourt, but the guy who steps into the starting five here, for me, is Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Now, originally I was like, oh, easy, stick Kyle Kuzma in there, but not a good defender. More of a power forward than a 3 in today's NBA, so I don't think it makes a lot of sense for Kuzma to be in that starting five. Then you put, of course, Anthony Davis and JaVale McGee in the front court, and we'll wait to see what happens with Dwight Howard, but I would expect him to play. So I think the Lakers are going to be just fine without Avery Bradley, but it definitely hurts because he's been so good for them. Now, if you want to know more about what's going to happen with all the NBA players, who's sitting out, who's playing, and what's going to happen throughout the season, you're going to want to make sure you're subscribed to Chat Sports. Whether it's me, Tom Downey, or Harrison Graham, we're going to be bringing you NBA updates all season long, all off-season long, so make sure you're subscribed. We love all of you guys for subscribing. It means the world to us when you watch our videos, you like them, you comment, and you subscribe. So keep on doing that. Help us get to 200,000 subscribers. We're trying to hit that mark this summer. So next, let's move on to who will actually replace Avery Bradley in the rotation. Could it be J.R. Smith? Could he finally be a Los Angeles Laker? Well, according to Adrian Wojnarowski, he is LA's top target to replace Avery Bradley. Nothing is official quite yet, but it sounds like it's trending that way. At the time of this video, it has not become official. So he was waived by the Cavaliers this past summer, played with them, of course, during LeBron's championship run, a little bit last year, but not as much. And he did work out for the Lakers before they added Dion Waiters. So they were looking to add a new player. They went with Dion Waiters instead of J.R. Smith, but maybe it's time they give J.R. some time. Or give J.R. a contract, Now, in his career with the Cavaliers, with the Denver Nuggets, with the New York Knicks, he averaged 12.5 points per game, a little more than 3 rebounds per game and 2 assists, and 37.3% from 3. When you sign J.R. Smith, you're signing up for an automatic bucket. That's what J.R. Smith does. That's what he's always been in his career, and hopefully he can keep that up if the Lakers decide to sign him. Now, the Lakers' guard and wing depth is a little bit in question because you got LeBron and Danny Green, obviously your two starters. And then you've got Alex Caruso, a great defender, but not much offense coming from him. Then you got KCP, a guy who I think will step into the starting five. And then it's Dion Waiters. So where I become kind of questionable with the fit of J.R. Smith is you got Dion Waiters. Isn't that kind of like signing J.R. Smith already? It's a little bit redundant, and I don't really know if it makes sense, but if you want another wing, I guess J.R. Smith is the way to go here. So, when you look at the two players, because you got Dion Waiters, but the Lakers also already added Markieff Morris, a guy who was a late season addition to the roster, they have to incorporate both of them. Now, Markieff Morris this year has played in 52 games. He's averaging 10 points per game, 4 boards, nearly exactly 1.4 assists, and then he's shooting better than 38% from 3. So he's been a really good shooter with Detroit and with the Lakers as well. Now, Dion Waiters, on the other hand, we haven't got to see him much at all this season. In 3 games with Miami, he put up 9 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and a little more than 47% from 3, but when you're not shooting that many threes, you can't miss that many threes, so his three-point percentage looked pretty good. So you've got 2 late season additions already in Markieff Morris and Dion Waiters who still have to adjust to the Lakers system a little bit. Do you want to add a third? So which of those three would make the biggest impact on the Los Angeles Lakers? Markieff Morris, Dion Waiters, or J.R. Smith? I'm going to go Markieff Morris. I think he makes the most sense. He's the most efficient player of those three, but maybe you've got a different guy that you want to let me know about in the comment section below. Now let's move on from a rumor to a piece of news. Tyler Johnson signs with the Brooklyn Nets for the remainder of the year. He will play with them when they go play in Orlando. He signed a $50 million offer sheet back in 2016 with Brooklyn. So he's wanted to be there before, but Miami matched that, and he never ended up playing for the Nets until now. He will be in a Brooklyn uniform. The thing with Johnson is he's just 27 years old. People are like, oh, he's old, he's washed up. 27, he's in the prime of his career. He's got plenty of time left in the NBA. I think this is a smart move by the Brooklyn Nets. Now, this year with the Suns, he played an average of 16 minutes per game, a career low for him. And he scored 5.7 points, 1.7 rebounds, and just 1.6 assists. So, yeah, he didn't get to prove himself a lot in Phoenix. I think Brooklyn is going to be a good place for him because their point guard depth is definitely lacking. Of course, you got Kyrie Irving, but once they go to Orlando, Kyrie Irving will not be with the team anymore. And then you got Spencer Dinwiddie, who will be the starting point guard and one of the best backup point guards in the league. Chris Chiozza is on a two-way contract. He won't be getting that much run in Orlando. Karis LeVert is a shooting guard, not so much a point guard. And then John Musa is still a young guy who's more of a 2-3, not so much a 1 or a 2. So that's definitely good for Tyler Johnson. He's going to get a lot of time to prove himself with the Nets. Now, they did have to waive a player to make room for Tyler Johnson, and that unfortunate player was Theo Pinson, a kid out of North Carolina who I used to like, but hasn't really panned out in the NBA. Of course, he is eligible to be signed by a playoff team if he does wish to play for another team before the end of the season. When they go back to Orlando, a team can pick him up. He only played in 33 games with the Nets this season. He bounced back and forth between them and the G League affiliate. And this year with the Nets, the numbers weren't that pretty. 3.6 points per game, 1 rebound, 1 assist, and that is not a typo, folks. That 3-point percentage, 18.8%. And that's the problem with Theo Pinson, is that he doesn't have a definable skill. Good energy, good locker room guy, fun to watch dance on the bench, but he's not really ready for the NBA because he doesn't have one skill. He's just kind of a warm body at this point in his career. So the Nets go and pick up Tyler Johnson. They're going to be fighting for the 8 seed in the Eastern Conference. They're up at 7 right now. Could fall to 8. Could fall all the way down to 9 if the Wizards jump up. So who's going to get that final seed in the Eastern Conference? Is it going to be the Nets? Is it going to be the Magic or the Wizards? I think the Nets and the Magic stay in. I think the Wizards fall out because Davis Bertans isn't playing. John Wall is probably not playing. Not looking too good for the Washington Wizards. So one more piece of news here before we get out today, and it's David Nwaba. He gets a contract from the Houston Rockets. But here's the thing. Nwaba's not eligible to play this year because he tore his Achilles. Not eligible. He won't be playing, this year because he did tear his Achilles. So the Rockets sign him to a 2-year deal, don't get him in Orlando, and really just have to take up a roster spot for some reason. I don't get it, but look, here's the thing with Nwaba. He's an athletic defender. He's got a 7-foot wingspan. He's built. He looks like he hits the weight room every single day. And in his time with Chicago back in 2017-2018, he looked like one of the best wing defenders in the NBA. Now, his numbers weren't incredible. He was putting up 7.9 points per game, 4.7 rebounds, and shooting a little better than 34% from 3, but numbers aren't what he does. What he does is defend the best player on the floor. However, the Rockets aren't going to be able to use him in Orlando, and they just waived a guy to make room for him. So I don't really understand what they're doing here. They waived Isaiah Hartenstein. Now, that's not a big loss for the Rockets. The reason it is a loss, though, is because he's still 7 feet tall. And the Rockets don't have a lot of big men on this roster. Now, like Theo Pinson, Isaiah Hartenstein is now eligible to sign with a playoff team if he so wishes to do. But the thing with Hartenstein is he's not that great either. I don't think he'll get a contract before Orlando. But he's also just 22 years old. This year with the Rockets, he put up 4.7 points, a little less than 4 rebounds per game, blocking a half a shot per game, but he's 22. So this kid's going to get a chance somewhere. I'm just not sure when or where. Now, the reason that I'm most confused about this move to waive Hartenstein and sign Nwaba for your time in Orlando when you're pushing for a playoff spot and higher playoff seeding is that the Rockets don't have any big men. I know they're going with this small ball lineup, but at some point you're going to come across some big men and have to put someone out there that's at least 7 feet tall. Now, Tyson Chandler is a 7-footer, but at this point in his career, he's not really doing a whole lot for you. After that, their next tallest guy is Bruno Caboclo at 6'9". Jeff Green is 6'8". Robert Covington 6'7", and then you got Daniel House Jr. at 6'6". So the biggest guy in your starting five is Robert Covington at 6'7". So I'm just kind of confused about this Rockets move. I like David Nwaba, don't get me wrong, but when you've got a torn Achilles and you can't play right now while the Rockets are fighting for a championship, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me to waste that roster spot. So my one word to describe this move by the Rockets is confused. Pure confusion. Maybe you've got a different word. Let me know what your one-word reaction to the Rockets signing David Nwaba is in the comment section below. And NBA fans, if you want to keep up with all the NBA moves that are happening every single minute, like literally as I'm recording this video, we've got NBA moves happening. And so if you want to keep up with all of them, you're going to want to subscribe here on Chat Sports. Keep it tuned. We've got stuff going all season long. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.